A very good evening to you. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Sports Tonight. This is a very special edition of Sports Tonight because it's Independence Day in Nigeria, October 1. Exactly 54 years ago, Nigeria became an independent country. So we welcome you to this very special edition of Sports Tonight, this special day. I'd like to start by saying Happy Independence anniversary to Nigeria, and pray that we have many more years together, years of progress and prosperity and growth in every area of our national life. That's how we start Sports Tonight this midweek. My name is Tony Ipitoye. I'm not alone. Oye Wuchimachuku sent a message earlier on today that is going to be appearing differently on the program tonight. It's not going to be coming in the way it comes in every Monday or Wednesday, because he's also in the mood. And you're going to see him now because he's sitting right next to me. Oye, I wish you told us this earlier. All of us would have dressed something different.
No, I just wanted to be unique, you know. We are 54.
Okay.
You have to, behave differently.
That's why I said if you had told us early, we should all be dressed this way.
No, that is the beauty of life.
You wanted to stand out.
Yes.
From the rest of us on
yes.
the
I wanted to shine.
But it's a special day. Special day for Nigeria. Nigeria 54 today.
It calls for celebration. I don't want to say it calls for sober reflection. How long have we been reflecting? I don't.
Sober reflection is not necessarily something bad.
Not necessarily
something bad. It's just what could I have been.
But for me, I think
you celebrate what you are.
I think for us, I call for celebration because we look at the last 2 months, the Ebola virus and the way we were able to curtail it. And we are so united in curtailing the virus that every other problem is not insurmountable. Every other problem, if we can be united
to deal with it the way we dealt with it,
every other problem is just a walkover for Nigeria.
But let's look at it. Nigeria is 54. We are looking at sports now. In the last 54 years, there's been ups and downs, a country of potentials. We've achieved some, we've not been able to actualize our potentials in others. But surely we should begin to reflect on what we need to do in the next 50 years. To actualize the potential that we have. People call us
a sleeping giant.
Sleeping giant, a country of potentials. When is it going to change to a country where potentials are realized?
Yeah, I think I agree with you absolutely. From the 80s when we won the Nations Cup, won in 1994 and 2013. Football has experienced meteoric rise in Nigeria. But you cannot see that for other sports. We are a country of 160 million people. There are so much talent abound in this country, and I think it's a shame that we will not be able to tap into the potentials in other sports apart from football. So I think we need to reflect, look at ourselves in the mirror and see how we can begin to develop other sports, because everybody cannot play football. We have the talent. We need to put a template to on ground, the structure, so that when you have the talent, you know what to do. You know the route to pass to get to stardom, and that is what we should be doing. Especially the National Sports Commission. It should not be football alone. We have so many. We have seen it. The likes of Samuel Peter, Zorite. Boxing used to be, a very strong, sport in this country. But for some time, it has gone down. These are things we should look at critically and look at the ways of making sure the resurgence starts coming. Table tennis has started this year.
A resurgence in table tennis.
So we need to look at other sports. Blessing Okagbare is doing well but there are so many other Blessing Okagbares in this country. Some states should emulate what Delta State is doing. Encourage athletes. If each state will
look at your comparative advantage
in their states, then Nigeria will be better.
Look at your comparative advantage.
Absolutely.
Taraba, Adamawa could look at long distance, mountain running, build on it. The riverine South could look at swimming, and
Daniel Igali has started with
wrestling in Bayelsa. We have, we can.
Each state can look at the strong point and develop it. And if we do that with with a common purpose, then we will achieve even more than what China is.
China they have the numbers and they are turning it into good advantage. Nigeria should be doing something like
absolutely.
that. Dumnodi, to wrap up this discussion, Nigeria 54 today. Looking back, I know you were not here when it started 54 years ago.
But I'm above 30. I'm above 30. I'm not that big.
Okay, congratulations on being above 30.
Okay.
But let's look back at 54 years of sports in Nigeria. You may not have been here when it started, but what would you look at as being the highlights of sports? Okay, let me make it easier for you. I'm going to direct that one to Onye because Onye has been here for much longer. The year under review, 2014. What would you look at as the highlights of sports? Something that we can use as a benchmark for future development of sports, not just football, sports in its entirety.
Well, I want to see what we did with table tennis within the last 2 years. How table tennis have taken our players and given us this meteoric rise, especially in the ratings of our players. When the new board of the NTTF came into office, they have somebody who has table tennis as a passion first. He's been known to be a table tennis person. So we are looking at, what you mentioned, square peg in a square hole, or round peg in a round hole, whichever way it's been called. We saw the competitions he brought up. We saw the rating of this competition. We saw at one point the ITF started taking them from one level to the other. And we saw how far our table tennis players keep going for tournament competitions. So it's a product of trying to get your policies right, your strategies right.
Grassroots
like I always say, it must be one. Anything that is not specific is not dynamic. If it's only one, achieve one. For NTTF, they don't want it. They start with Lagos, you go national. We see some other states copying what NTTF is doing. I think it's replicating some of this blueprint across different states. If it goes nationwide, fine, but at least it's one step at a time. But I hope for the last 2 years, if they can be able to achieve this much in the last 2 years, let's see what happens in the next 5 years. I think they will go higher.
This year under review, I'm going to come back to you with your high points. In the year under review, 2014, we've had I think I can pinpoint two major international competitions. 2014 World Cup in Brazil and the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, Scotland. How would you how would you describe those two in the light of the potentials of Nigeria as a sports nation and then our future? Looking at sports, developing sports in the future in Nigeria.
People will tell you if you prepare to plan, you have planned to fail. We didn't prepare.
For which one?
Because
for the
Commonwealth Games.
Okay.
We didn't prepare because the World Cup is still very fresh in our mind. The crisis, the fallout of the World Cup is still very fresh in our mind. So we know what will happen.
But how did you prepare for the World Cup? Was it better? The build up to the World Cup.
No, the World Cup is the flagship football competition in the world. Of course, every nation who wants to be who is part of the World Cup, wants to pay attention to the preparation of his team for the World Cup. So everybody must get that kind of preparation. The Super Eagles played a lot of friendly games. They took advantage of the FIFA free windows. Even during the World Cup period, they took advantage of all the friendly games. Some people will tell you these friendlies are not top-rated friendly, but in World Cup you don't need a top-rated friendly sometimes. You have to play friendly so that you can fine-tune your strategy, test your players, know what to do at a particular time, play similar opposition, not necessarily the opposition. People who play the kind of game as your opponent in your group. So that's what the World Cup training, pre-World Cup friendly games are meant for. For the Commonwealth game, we didn't prepare. We knew what we were saying. We were using that as a cliche now. That they went to Glasgow, they saw. But it's not because they are tools. The equipment but that's one thing. I'm not saying I think they didn't prepare. Now let's prepare very well.
Can we use shooting to generalize for the other sports?
Let's say we prepared very well. We would have gotten massive, even though we didn't win any medal in shooting, we would have gotten an experience that okay, this is where we got it wrong. In athletics, we saw it and it's a boomer. We felt it was blessing, but suddenly a boomer came on the scene. Before then, in the junior championship, we did not get to the semi-final, but she won the Commonwealth game gold medal. So let's look at how we can prepare. The table tennis, we went there, boxing, we did something, weightlifting, but para sport, very important. We must take advantage of our para.
Also give us plenty of medals.
Yeah, we must invest in the Paralympics. Passport.
Okay, let me wrap up this discussion with you. Look at the last 54 years of sports in Nigeria. You can only just on one hand you can count the number of individual medals we won at the Olympic Games. We surely, as a nation with the potential that we have, should be doing more. What for you has been the highlight last 54 years, and translate them into maybe the next 46 years when we'll be celebrating 100 years as a nation?
Well, that will entail going back to the historical perspective. But in 1984 in Los Angeles, Koyengwachi won silver
in boxing.
in boxing.
I mean, at that time, every Olympic Games were sure of something from boxing.
Absolutely.
But that's not the case anymore.
Boxing,
Athletics.
You know, you recall that even Falilat also won a bronze medal in athletics. You know, so it has been on, but for some time before Blessing came on board, there was a law, and you know that's where we should begin to do research and find out what happened. And what happened is that we failed to go back to the grassroots. The discovering talents, to take over competitions. At the time, we had mobile athletics championship that was very, very competitive. But at the time, it also stopped. So championship structures, templates for development.
National Sports Festival.
Absolutely. So
school sports. We've got some new competitions that are coming through. The National Sports Commission have introduced youth games,
the school
sports. I think we are gradually understanding that we need to get back.
Yes, but we need time because we had...
the results can be immediate.
Yes, we had lag behind for a long time. And these things need some time.
They are not
for the
automatic.
To start